Hi, I'm Kit Noonan.
And I'm Kaylin Serena Stanton. We're certified coaches and best friends from different generations who aim to simplify wellness. Soulful Wellness is a personal evolution podcast and community that embraces living well your way, no trends, diets, or one-size-fits-all advice here.
We share our personal and unfiltered experiences so you too can heal and experience your own wellness transformation.
Join us every Thursday as we embrace living from the soul. Happy New Year!
Today, we're welcoming the new year and all that means for us in life and in the podcast. In this episode, we'll reveal our 2024 intention, introduce a new weekly segment, and share a few recent personal stories.
Happy New Year, Soulful Society. As always, if you enjoy this episode, please share it with like-minded peeps, friends, family, colleagues, animals, you name it. Anyone who you think will enjoy this podcast and gain some good vibes from it.
If you haven't already done so, please give us a 5-star rating and write a little review so that others can find us. We know there's tons and tons of content out there in the podcast world, and we always like any help we can get matching up with our people.
For new listeners who don't know, reviews just make our whole entire world. We absolutely love hearing from you guys. We love getting your emails at sfowpodcast.com. And your reviews just make our whole world. So thank you to Gabby, our most recent reviewer. I'm going to read it to you guys because it just makes us so happy. This podcast got me through a difficult time. This podcast is one of my favorites. I'll never forget that listening got me through a difficult time when I was in a job that wasn't healthy for me. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you for sharing what's on your heart. I know we've DM'd several times, and it always makes my soul feel so good to be able to connect with you, to hear your feedback and your story. And we just love you. So thank you, Gabby.
Yes, thank you, Gabby. And know that you are not alone. We've been going through a bit of dark times ourselves in the past 6 months or so. And we'll talk a little more about what that inspires in us in the coming year in today's episode. And thank you for taking your time to write those very heartfelt words. Really appreciate you.
It is actually a perfect segue into this week's episode.
Can I push pause on our segue just to remind folks that we are running a little incentive? If you leave a rating and review for Soulful Wellness by January 31st, you'll be automatically entered to win one of our gorgeous, warm, comforting, soulful beanies, identical to the one that I'm wearing in our cover art. And we're going to pick one winner at random, and we'll announce it at the top of the February 8th episode to allow time for all the Apple Podcast reviews to post. Sometimes they take several days to actually show up.
Yay! I can't wait to see you guys in these beanies so we can all be matching.
Yeah, I love my beanie. All right, unpause.
Unpause. So, Happy New Year, everyone. 2024. Guys, I don't know. I'm not feeling the whole new year, new me, new BS, all of this wellness jargon out there. We want to just sift through it and really get into the heart of the matter, which is what's truly coming up for you, what ignites your soul, what gets you out of bed in the morning, what are you looking forward to, and what kind of life are you designing? As we know, January tends to be a time filled with nuance, new motivation, new aspirations, vision boarding, all of these kinds of beautiful things, which is important to set intentions. We got to know where we're going in order to get there.
Yes.
And so Kit and I, we've been thinking a lot about this and what does it mean for us right now? Like you mentioned, I mean, we've been going through a dark night of the soul the past 6 months, and it's not, when you're going through it, it's not actually something that you always want to talk about or you're ready to talk about or unpack. And so while we were kind of sifting through this, we had a heart-to-heart today. We went to the sauna, as you guys know. We absolutely love doing that. And we get a lot of episode ideas just from chit-chatting.
I feel like I can tap into a different part of my brain and a different part of my creativity or artistic side. We really do come up with different ideas post sauna session.
For sure. And in the context of the new year and of Soulful of Wellness, I think we've both been feeling this underlying shift of the current, which is exciting. We're not going anywhere. Don't worry, guys. But we've uncovered that Soulful of Wellness, it's not that she's getting a facelift, right? We're dropping the O in SFOW, so the of to Soulful Wellness, and we're gonna mess that up sometimes, just so you know. Probably gonna accidentally call it Soulful of Wellness
out of habit.
But with that comes more of a intentional soulful focus. And with this reflection, our conversations, we've decided that the mantra of Soulful Wellness is reclaiming our joy. So here at Soulful Wellness, that's our mantra for the year. If that resonates with you too, feel free to adopt it. We love it. And this is the lens of which you're going to see and listen to the podcast through this year. You're going to hear more conversational episodes. So this year on the podcast, you can expect some experimentation from us. You can expect more candor, a little bit of like lightheartedness. I think what we've realized, like going through these dark nights of the soul individually, I mean, it's pretty funny that we're the two of us on parallel paths are both going through darkness at the same time. And what we feel is missing and what we feel like we want the podcast to evolve into this year, as we're all evolving, including the podcast, is levity, joy, light, fun, like lightheartedness, like more laughter. So you can expect more candid conversations.
Yes.
Hopefully some giggles. And I think a lot of vulnerability, but just in a different way through a different lens.
I think you nailed it. I think more playfulness, more fun, more curiosity, and following that wherever it takes us, not feeling the weight of this responsibility to coach all the people listening to us. Coaching is such a deeply personal experience that it's too hard and it's too much. And we put it on ourselves. No one asked us to do it. We put it on ourselves to sort of coach via a podcast. And I think that load was just getting a little too heavy for both of us. And we were missing some of the fun that you get in the one-to-one coaching experience because we were like, oh, but what about these people? And what about these people? And we must meet their needs and we must guess what their needs are so that we can then meet them weekly, week after week. And we realized no one asked us to do that. Thought, what do we actually want from our podcasts? This is our baby, our creation. We get to take it the direction we want to take it. We can completely F it up, or we can blow it up into something really big and fun and wonderful. So we picked that option. Imagine that.
Yeah. And we always want your feedback. We absolutely take that into account when we get your emails, when we get your DMs. Right now, we're not on Instagram. So please follow up with an email if you're not hearing from us. We've been taking a hiatus and we're just trying to dive into what's authentic to the bone, like to the core. And I know you guys can sense that. And I'm feeling a bit more revitalized in the sense of giving myself permission to just be candid, to keep things light and happy and fun, while acknowledging that we're not going to sway too far over that pendulum, you know, and into toxic positivity and pretend like nothing's wrong. I think we're going to experiment with having a little bit more fun with this. So reclaiming the levity, reclaiming our joy. If that resonates with you guys, take it.
In this vein, Kaylin, do you think this is an appropriate place to announce our new segment?
I do, my love, I do. And in future episodes, this segment will come pretty early in the episode, so you can come to expect it. It is called, drumroll please, Fuck Up of the Week.
Yes.
And Kate, you coined this like, I think over a year ago. You were thinking about imperfectionism and what it means to live as an imperfectionist and how we can have more fun with that. And even explain it in a better way. And what better way than fuck up of the week segment? It's celebrating our fuck ups.
Ultimately, it's just living life, because I can manage to do something just colossally idiotic all the time, and different things. You'd think I'd run out of different idiotic things to do, but I don't. I can manage to have an endless supply.
I know, me too. And so it's kind of funny. We have this shared note, and we're just going to put our little F ups of the week in this note. Okay, Kit, now I'm curious. What's your F up of the week? Okay, wait, guys, this acronym is not even like, it's kind of too much. F.U.O.T.W.
F.U.O.T.W. Like it doesn't work, but that's what it is. So it's kind of appropriate. There is just no cool, easy way to say it.
Kit, what was your F up of the week?
Okay, it was just earlier today. I went over to visit my sister, parked, got out of the car. I can hear her half shepherd, half husky, very hyper, very spastic, very loving but chaotic dog tied up on this big run line she has outside. And I can hear the dog yipping and barking in glee. So, of course, pivot, go straight to the dog. I know this dog is chaos embodied, but do I use rational common sense? No, not at all. I approach the dog the exact same way I approach my dogs, which is a very different dynamic. And I put my face right down by her face, at which point she headbutts my nose. And I knew in that moment it was bad. It was that blinding pain where your eyes are instantly watering.
Ooh.
For about half a minute, nothing happened. And I thought, am I maybe not going to get a bloody nose? And then it happened. And blood's dripping down my fingers, down my face. My sister comes out. She's like, what? Like, your dog headbutt me, which wasn't even a fair way to say it. I invaded the dog's personal space with my nose.
Ooh.
And should have, as my sister pointed out, known better. But that is very typically me. So there you have it. Anyone relate?
It feels like a Lizzie McGuire moment. I don't know why. She was so clumsy. This is for my millennials. She was so clumsy and she would trip all the time. And that was just Lizzie. And we love her for it. And we love you for it. And I'm really sorry that you had a bloody nose, because that's like really gross and really unfortunate.
I was like, oh my gosh, what is my, like, what? Why? I don't know. I have nothing. I had no one to blame but myself. It seems to have recovered nicely. I don't think, actually, I'm saying I don't think it's swollen. I actually purposely have not looked in the mirror to see if it's swollen, because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I like thinking it's fine.
Ignorance is bliss.
But I think I sound fine, right?
You do. You sound fine. You sound good.
Because when it happened, I knew we were recording today also, and I was thinking, oh, great, now I'm going to sound all funny, but...
There you have it. F.U.O.T.W. Doesn't roll off the tongue, but we're all human. Well, congrats on being a human, Kit. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I will do it again another day. Be human and all. And F you. Ooh, that doesn't sound right, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
It sounds very aggressive instead of...
we might have to workshop this one.
I know, seriously. This is in development, people.
Yeah.
Being human and going through hard times, not wanting to sit more than necessary in the heaviness, was the spark of today's episode.
For sure. And while we're just bearing everything, putting it all on the table, I feel like for the new year, in my mindset, it just is so clouded by grief and trauma that for me, none of it resonates. Like none of the jargon. And you knew this about me even last year. I'm like, I think we made fun of it in an episode title, like New Year, New Me, like, or New Year, Same Me.
When the year's all shiny and new and untainted, it just holds all this promise and possibility. And then with each successive hour and day that passes, year after year, you come to the same realization and awareness, which is, I'm still fundamentally me. And that's fine. I wouldn't want to be anyone but me. And Kaylin, I sure as hell wouldn't want you to be anyone but you. So as much as we're all on these evolutions as humans and we're trying to become better versions of ourselves, the important part of that is being ourselves.
Yeah, it's almost like the intention for the year is how can you be your youest you? One of our mentors, one of our coaches, Julie Reeser, that's her book. It's called Your Youest You. And I love that so much because it's basically empowering you to be more of yourself, which is truly the root of your personal power is your individuality.
Yeah.
So we want to focus on that this year, reclaiming the levity, reclaiming the joy. And I think to your point, Kit, like all the promise that the new year of us on this planet, here we are, we're still here, is to me, it feels like part of it is we're doing whatever we can to control what we can control. And I just got the hardest lesson of really there's only so much we can control. And that is, our habits, our attitudes, our mindset, things like that. At the end of the day, we can plan for a great year. We can plan for the best year yet, quote unquote, and life is going to do its thing. It's going to get in the way and it's going to be unpredictable. So while I was talking about this, you had this amazing duck metaphor that was so perfect.
In my mind, they were the little yellow rubber duckies. I wasn't picturing real ducks. Were you doing real ducks?
Oh, I was picturing real ducks. I think that's because Wally and I walk past a pond every day, so I see ducks and mallards every day. So I was picturing the exact pond and these ducks, and you were relating it to the wellness wheel. You were like, okay, so you got your joy duck over here, your nutrition duck over here, your sleep duck.
Of course, the goal is to get all your ducks in a row, just like the cliche says, but we all know that never happens. You grab nutrition duck and you get nutrition duck right where you want him. And then you, with the other hand, grab sleep duck and you get him pretty much where you want him. And then you have to let go of one of those to grab relationship duck. You tell nutrition duck to stay, but nutrition duck, of course, is a duck and doesn't stay. And then as soon as you let go of one to grab the others to get them in line, the ones yet in line are bobbing a different direction. You're going, wait, no, I said stay. Wait, oh, back here. Wait, I just got you ready. Wait, you were further than when you started. And that's honestly what my wellness journey, AKA life, feels like. Especially this time of year when we're doing all this reflection and introspection and trying to plan forward momentum, I feel like, whoa, where are all the ducks? Okay, some are close, but some really far away. And how'd you get so far away? When get back here? And who do I grab and who do I focus on? And I know I can't grab them all at once. It's just the chaos that is existence.
Right. So it's like, do we embrace the chaos? Like, do we just get to a point where we can accept that not all the ducks are going to be in a row and that's okay? Like, where do we draw the line? Because as recovering perfectionists, there's this root of anxiety because the deeper root is the want and desire to control because of the fear of more bad things happening or getting out of control or not being able to see what's ahead. And so I feel like this journey with our ducks is loving each duck the way they are, trying to rein them in when we can, but not beating ourselves up when the other little duckies swim away. Because if we relate this back to the wellness wheel, which for new listeners is a beautiful tool that we use in coaching that you can design yourself or we have on our website, where all of these different, it's like a pie, and the slices of pie in your life are the different areas of your life. Your joy, sleep, relationships, nutrition, movement. You could put career in there. Whatever it may be, they all can't be 10 out of 10s, and that's cool and that's fine. So it's thinking about where can we give ourselves grace? Where can we let these ducks just do their dang thing and swim off and we're okay with it?
And just being like, well, you know what? I have eyes on all of them. They might not be exactly where I want them to be, but I at least know where everybody is and feel like nobody's too far out of reach right now. Like that feels like an attainable goal long term.
For sure. I feel like a lot of people that I've talked with recently, they're focusing on what no longer serves them and letting go of that, which is so beautiful.
Sort of clearing out the pond.
Yeah.
If there's other clutter in the pond and you really just want to focus on the ducks, maybe getting rid of some of the other muck, getting it out of the
Ooh, the
pond
muck.
completely.
I like this metaphor.
Yeah, extra stuff that just obscures the ducks.
Yes.
Or gets in the way of the ducks being where you would like them to be.
So the muck is like our numbing behaviors.
Yeah, definitely could be.
And like how can we clear out some of the muck? And is there, some numbing behaviors that actually aren't too harmful? I don't even know where I'm going with this, you guys. I'm just like picturing muck and mud in this pond.
Some of those behaviors have become habit. So where at one time they might have served a productive purpose, now they're just muck. This is a good time of year. Well, it's always a good time of year, isn't it, to clear out the muck, to just evaluate, say, where am I now? Where would I like to be? And what's the path I can take from here to there? And part of the path might be clearing some of the muck.
Yeah. I feel like thinking about your ducks and your muck is taking inventory. How are things right now? Like, how's my pond? Which ducks are out of line? How murky are we talking? What's no longer serving me? But not feeling like overwhelmed by like, oh my God, I got to change everything. Every duck needs to, I got to revamp my whole life. It's like,
yeah, don't do that to yourself. Don't have the vision of all the ducks perfectly in a row, like synchronized swimmers. Like that's just setting yourself up for frustration.
For sure. I feel like I like to have an intention or a word. And that's kind of my North Star for the time being. I think in last year's New Year's episode, maybe it was the year before. I don't know. Guys, we're coming up on year 4. Woo.
Yeah. The years are starting to blur.
Everything's a blur. Time is a flat
We've
circle.
been podcasters for just so long.
We talked about this concept that I think forever reigns true about setting intentions monthly or daily or weekly rather than for the year. I think it's perfectly fine if it resonates with you to, some people like to do like a word of the year and you feel like that's your anchor. But personally for me, what works better and is what's more authentic to get me in alignment is setting an intention monthly or more granularly, like weekly or yearly. So I think for now, mine is about momentum, and my mantra is be still, which I am now realizing is ironic.
Why do you say it's ironic?
Well, I guess I think they're in opposition. My mantra is be still, but my word is momentum. And I feel like the stiller I can be as I set myself up for my day, like in the mornings and stuff, like actually breathing and reading a passage, the more momentum and clearer focus I can have. As opposed to if I'm running really fast, if I'm numbing out and trying to move too fast, it's only going to push more ugly, uncomfortable feelings, and it's just going to make things a cluster.
Okay, I think I'm following why you described it as ironic. So you're saying that busyness for busyness sake is not a piece of this.
Yes.
You will come from a place of stillness and being present, and then when you are ready, willing, and able, you will start movement in a purposeful, productive direction.
Exactly.
So it seems like an efficiency of movement as opposed to just the chaos of bouncing.
Yes.
Which is what a lot of the last 6 months involved. Well, maybe you just don't force it. So we're talking about bringing more levity into our lives and reclaiming our joy and not making things harder than they need to be and making our own lives more difficult because we're just committed to working harder and harder until we can figure something out that really doesn't need figuring out.
Yeah, like overcomplicating it unnecessarily to prove ourselves something.
Yeah, which I do all the time. Even when I notice I'm doing it, I'm moving toward less overcomplication. See, even when I say that, that's like the most roundabout way to say it. More simplicity.
And that's our tagline, Simplify Wellness.
Yes.
At Soulful Wellness, the vibe of this year is going to be reclaiming our joy in this community. We're going to be infusing that into our episodes, exploring what that looks like for ourselves, how you can explore that in your own journey, and reclaiming our power by just being humans and simplifying.
Make sure we're having fun doing what we're doing. And I have to say, we always have fun with the podcast because we always say to ourselves, why are we doing it if we're not having fun? But making sure as we enter our 4th year doing this, 20, 21, 22, 23, no, our 5th year doing this. We've done it for almost 4 full years now, April 2nd. So as we enter our 5th year of this podcast, just making sure that fundamentally we're loving it. We're having a good time. And I think that's the only way to really ensure that we're going to be successful in our message and in our community and what we're building here. We need to have fun with it for other people to feel good about it.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, sister.
Levity in life.
Peace, love, and light. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, with someone that you think it would resonate with someone that you think should be a part of this community. Thank you for leaving us the ratings and reviews. And don't forget, you have until January 31st to win a soulful beanie.
Big, big hugs to you. Happy New Year. We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here with us.
Peace, love, and light.
Peace, love, and light.
The Soulful of Wellness hosts are certified health and wellness coaches. This podcast is intended to inform and entertain listeners on their wellness journey. This podcast is meant to enhance, not replace, listeners' care from doctors, therapists, or other medical providers.